Hey everybody, Shep here. Today I'm out here in the garage shelling these great northern beans that I grew this past season. It's super cold outside. It's in the low teens. That's been the high today. The last few days it's been super cold here. Haven't really been able to do anything outside because of that. Haven't really wanted to do anything outside because of that. But I don't have anything else going on, so I thought I'd shell some of these beans. First off, I'd like to say thank you to my new subscribers. I haven't really made a whole lot of videos here recently, but we hit 500 subscribers the other day, so I want to say thank you to everybody that subscribed. It's really cool that people like the videos I make about gardening and stuff. So anyway, let's talk about these beans for a minute. These are your Great Northern beans like you'd buy at the grocery store. Now, I have a lot of people ask me, can you plant, beans that you buy at the grocery store? I have never done that, but from my reading and from what I understand, you can do that. So that's something to keep in mind if you all want to try that. These, I bought seeds and planted them. I could plant these if I wanted, but seeds are cheap enough, and where I buy them, they're like $4 a pound, and they're treated. And I can plant them no more than I plant of these. I can plant them for several years. So to me, I'd rather eat these than plant them. But that's just me. Now, after I get all these shelled, I will go through here and pick out these that are discolored or bad looking. And maybe you could plant these. Maybe these would be worth saving. But I just pitch them. So you'll probably see in some of my garden tour videos of me where I was growing these, they grow like a green bean. The only difference is you kind of leave them alone. And I've found what works best is to when they first start to dry out and they've kind of turned a yellow color, that seems to be the best time to pick them. If you let them go kind of longer than that, they can kind of start to mold and not be as good. But picking them yellow seems to work really well. Now, what I've always done in the past is I have taken, once I pick them, taken needle and thread and string them up. Now this works really well. Once I do this, I hang them on clothes hangers and they dry. It doesn't take very long and they dry up good. But the problem with that is that can be a little bit time consuming, especially if you have very many. Now I only grow about 50 row feet, so that's not too bad, but if you're growing more than that, that would be a lot of trouble. So what I did this year, and I'd never done it before, but it worked out pretty good, it was I took sawhorses and a board and laid them out in the garage, and then kind of just, they weren't this dry, of course, but, kind of spread them out, and they dried very well that way. So in the future, going forward, I'm probably going to do that. Now, obviously, it's January, and I picked these in probably September or so. Some of them I picked earlier than that, but they've been drying all this time, and they're very dry now. Basically, if you crack the pod open, the bean comes out of it. You don't really have to do a whole lot to it. So after all this time, they're very dry, and I could have done this months and months ago, and in fact, some of these I did do quite a bit ago, but I've just had these that I haven't gotten around to until this point. Now, shelling the beans is not difficult. See, they're pretty dry, so they pretty much fall out of the pod. Some of them you got to kind of help them out, but for the most part, they just fall right out. Not a whole lot to it. It's nothing super exciting. I'm not going to bore you guys by making you watch me do this for 5 minutes, but you kind of get the idea. Then once I'm done, like I said, I'll go through and pick out the ones that are bad looking. It's easier to just kind of do them all now and then go sit down on the couch and pick through the bad ones. And then I'll take the shells, I'll take those and put them out on the garden. And yeah, we'll have some beans for bean soup. Now, after I do this, what I like to do is to take them and put them in, and I usually use a quart jar, and I just put them in there, and they stay good. Ideally, if you have a vacuum sealer that has the attachment where you can vacuum seal jars, that would be the ideal thing, just to keep them fresher, and in case there's any insect eggs on the seeds, they won't be able to live in the vacuum. So you could also can these, and then they would, you'd just be able to cook with them pretty much immediately. But I've never canned them, but that's something that you can do. Well, that's kind of just showing off how I save these Great Northern seeds. There's not a whole lot to it. It's not super interesting, but somebody out there might find some use for it. So thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you to my new subscribers, and I'll talk to you guys later.